everybody, it's Dana. Welcome back to day 5 of my holiday card series for 2018. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, I already cut down my sheets of paper and I'm going to link to a video over on Concord and Ninth of the measurements of this paper. Today I'm playing with Concord and Ninth products and I'm going to be using the Christmas Cottage bundle. That includes a stamp set as well as these gorgeous dies. Now, as you can see, I'm placing down my dies, and over on the video at Concord and Ninth, and again, I'll link it below, you'll see that you want to place these dies rather, as close as you can to the top of the paper. And on these dies, you're going to find 2 little tick marks, and you want to make sure that those tick marks line up evenly on each side of your card panel. I'm going to apologize if you hear any background noise or anything. I'm actually in a hotel doing my voiceover, so I'm praying that you guys don't hear a lot of background noise. All right, so in order to keep my dies in place, I'm going to use some washi tape. And again, I'm just making sure that my dies are set properly on this piece of paper, and then I can go ahead and attach them. Now, I like to use washi tape, one, to keep everything in place, but also because my plates are very well loved in my die cut machine and they are bowed. So I want to make sure that these dies do not shift. So as you can see, I'm using my grid mat to help me line up where my die is supposed to be, and I'm also paying attention to those little tick marks. These tick marks are going to be extremely helpful with building this card. So lastly, I'm going to come in and move in that cute little cottage and place that down in place with some washi tape as well. Now, you don't have to be ultra precise on this, but you just want to make sure that you're close enough, because those tick marks are going to allow you to fold over the edges of these panels a little bit later. So you kind of want to make sure that you're paying attention and watching them. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and place all of this down onto my cutting plate and run this through. Now, for my cutting plates today, or my machine today, I'm using my Genie machine. So I'm just going to place those down, and then I can just go ahead and make sure everything's lined up and run it through my die cut machine. Okay, so now since I have everything cut out, you're going to see that I'm going to get this gorgeous tree line. So each one of these dies can really stand on their own. If you just wanted to use 1 or 2, you could. But as this is a scene building card, it works fabulously when you use all 3 of the dies. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop out my little cottage, and I'm just being extra careful not to rip my paper. Okay, everything is now cut out and we are ready to build this little scene. Now, there is another die that comes in this kit, or this bundle rather, and that makes the backdrop for this folding card. I went ahead and cut this out in some designer paper from Die Cuts with a View, but I made sure to back it on some heavier cardstock, as this cardstock alone would not be able to hold the weight of this interactive card. So next, what you want to do is, remember I told you about the stamp set that goes with this. So I'm going to line my images up into my MISTI, and then I'm going to grab the coordinating stamp set. So in this stamp set, you're going to get the images that make up this tree line. Now, I have found with using this, you don't have to be perfect. If you do not get this lined up correctly, it's very, very forgiving, because it just really stamps out some of the greenery part, and the rest is going to look like snow. So if you do not get it lined up perfectly, it's okay. This one is a very great stamp that you can be a little bit off on this one and everything still looks beautiful. So I'm just taking my time to make sure I line that up, and then I can go ahead and pick that up with my MISTI lid. Now again, to me, you can totally make a row of trees without using the dies, and it would still be gorgeous. I'm going to use some Simon Says stamp ink for this, and I believe this is the green apple ink. And then I can stamp this down on this portion of the card. Now, once I swing that closed, you're going to see how gorgeous these trees are. And they totally look like they already have snow on them. So I just need to press that down, and lift up my lid, and look how gorgeous those trees are. Now I'm going to double stamp this because I do have some areas right in the middle that didn't stamp too well. So I'm going to make sure I press right down right in that center to make sure I get a good impression this time. Now I'm going to do this with all of the images that I have. So first we have this gorgeous tree line, and next I'm going to come in and put in the larger tree. Now again, like I said, if you just wanted to use this tree here, you could be absolutely fine. If you did not want to make this card an interactive card, you can totally, where those tick marks are, cut those tick marks straight down, and then you can lay all of this onto a flat card. So that's what is so beautiful about this stamp set. It's very, very versatile, and I'll make sure to link you guys to some photos over on Concord and 9th to show you how you can use this stamp set and die set in multiple ways. So right, so now I have that gorgeous tree, and then the only thing left for me to stamp out is my cottage. So I'm just going to grab that little cottage, and look how cute that is on its own. Again, if you didn't want to build this card up, you can just use that and it would still be so precious. I'm just going to clean off my stamp really quickly and then line up that little cottage. That little cottage has like a little bit of an open door, and you can lift that little open door up if you want to, and maybe stick a piece of something behind it. Sorry for my head getting in the way. I just want to make sure I'm kind of like right on top of this, because I want to make sure that this one lines up pretty well. All right, so that looks good. I can go ahead and pick that up on my Misty lid. All right, so for this, I'm going to use some lipstick red ink for my ink medium today, because I think that would really make this adorable Christmas cottage pop. In all the colors, I made sure to match with my designer paper before I started. All right, so now I have all of my interactive pieces ready to be built up. So remember I said that there were those tick marks, and you can kind of see them in the video, one on each side. What you want to do is grab a bone folder, fold this down and up, I guess I should say up into the card. So I'm using my bone folder to do this, and I'm also using my grid mat to help me line up exactly where that little crease is, and then I can fold it up and score it down with my bone folder. Now where those creases are, remember I said that's where you cut off if you just wanted to put these elements flat onto a front card panel. Otherwise, you just need to fold them up just like this. Now in this part here, I'm not really worried if I'm scoring a little bit crooked, because it's all gonna come together. Now on this piece too, there are two little tick marks as well, and you want to make sure you fold those. Now the way you fold these is you want to fold them upward into the card. I'm going to go ahead and grab my bone folder and start my creases just a little bit, because this paper has been glued together. Remember, I have that designer paper and that 110-pound Neenah paper. So this panel is a little bit thick. So I'm going to start first by folding this back on itself so I can get that crease done. And I'll burnish that with my bone folder. And then I'm going to be able to fold that back the other way, again, right on that line, and crease it, because this is the way it needs to be. So that white part is going to be the back of your card panel, and I want to make sure that my folds are folding in. So again, I'm going to line up my tick mark on one of the lines on my mat. I'm going to go ahead and fold up so I can get my crease mark started. Now you won't have to necessarily do this when you just have a solid piece of cardstock. So if you were just using a blue background or black, pink, whatever color, you don't have to worry about double folding these. I just need to do it again because my paper is thick. So now we have the mechanism I need to start building up this card. So to get started, you want to line up all of your images onto this piece here. And I'm going to use some score tape because this needs to be heavy duty adhesive, as we'll be flexing this card back and forth, and you want to make sure that it stays in place. Okay, once I have that score tape on there, I'm going to grab my bone folder and really press that down because I want it to stick well. Now, what you want to do here is take the edge of this piece and line it up with the crease on your base piece. So I'm going to show you. So here's my score line, and I'm placing that edge really close to that crease line. Then I can press down and fold over. All right, so you want to make sure also that you start with the line of trees. Next, I'm going to do the same thing with my cottage. I'm going to put down my score tape, really rub that in, and now I'm going to take this piece and bump it up against my tree line piece. So making sure it's even on the bottom, and then it bumps right up to that tree line. Press that down, and then I can fold that over. Now I'm just going to press down to make sure everything's lined up. And lastly, I'm going to come in with that single tree. Now this is the order you want to put it on your card. Otherwise, if you put your tree down, you're going to block your little cottage. So I'll peel off the backing of that adhesive, and now I'm going to take this tree and bump it against the end of my cottage part, making sure to line up my bottom. I can press that in place, fold it over, and then I'm going to use my bone folder to crease it. All right, so now you can see our card is becoming a pop-up card, which is so adorable. Now for this other side, it's really, really simple. You just want to have everything laid down, and then you can use your score tape right on the ends of those flaps. Now this side is really easy to put together because you're just going to lay everything down and then fold over the panel. So I'll put down that piece of score tape, and then I can go ahead and grab that, rub that in to make sure it's really, really well. And then I can go ahead and peel off that backing. Just going to grab my bone folder because that glue was not sticking, or that adhesive was not sticking. So go ahead and pull that back, and now I'm going to grab my cottage piece. And again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to line that up, make sure it's right to that edge, pull over that cottage piece, line that up to the end again of my tree line. Now I'm kind of really taking my time on this because I want you guys to see. Now all you have to do is just line everything up against each other. So now I'm going to grab that last flap, I'm going to put down that score tape, tear that off, and then I can go ahead and burnish everything down to make sure that that tape is really nice and strong on there. I can peel off the backing. And now this is where I'm just going to keep everything lined up. Make sure I'm lined up on the bottom as well. Bring everything down into place. And now I'm just going to take that piece and fold it on top. So that edge piece is just folded right over. I can take my bone folder, give myself a good crease, and then look, we have this beautiful card. How gorgeous is this stamped satin die? Oh my God, I absolutely love it. And it folds nice and flat. That can go directly into an envelope. So I went ahead and I stamped a sentiment because I forgot to stamp it earlier. And now you will see this equals the same size as a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card. And it will fit perfectly into your envelopes. So just make sure to kind of fold it back and forth so you have your good crease marks in there. And then voila, you can pop it into a regular size envelope and off it goes into the mail. And then when your recipient gets it, they can pull it out and pop it up. Okay, that is day 5. I will see you guys back here for Holiday Card Series, day 6. Have a great day, everybody, and I will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.